Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is salsyabila putri, and today I would like to present my sociolinguistics projects about gender exclusive speech and stereotypes. In these presentations, I will explain the definitions, theory, example, and case study related to these topics. So let's start. First, we have definitions of gender exclusive speech. Is refers to language that give greater prominence to one gender, usually men, while making other gender less visible. It commonly uses masculine words or pronouns to refer to everyone, which may exclude other genders. And next we have characteristics and key concepts. Gender exclusive speech has several characteristics. It is used male-oriented terms, reflects traditional gender assumptions, reduces the visibility of women, and may reinforce gender inequality. The key concept is that language can influence how people perceive gender roles in society. And next we have sociolinguistic theory. According to Robin Lakoff, language reflects power relations between men and women. Male-central language can reinforce unequal social relationships and make men appear as the linguistic norm. And then next, critical understanding. This topic shows that language is not neutral. Using more inclusive language can reduce gender bias and promote equal representations for everyone. And next, example 1. The first example is come from the Guardian News. In this article, the term chairman is replaced with chair to make the job little more gender neutral. First, sociolinguistic phenomenon shown in this article is gender exclusive speech. The word chairman is gender exclusive because it is contain the word man, which is give greater prominence to man. And two, why does this example represents gender exclusive speech? This example represents gender exclusive speech because chairman emphasizes men in leadership's role. Replacing it with chair makes the title gender neutral and inclusive for everyone. And next, linguistic evidence. The linguistic evidence is the change from chairman to chair. The suffix man refers to men, while chair focuses only on the positions, not the person's gender. And analysis using the theory based on Robin Lakoff theory. Language reflects power relations in society. Using chairman suggests that leadership is associated with men, while chair reflects more equal and inclusive language. Relation to previous research by Gustav Sons sentence and colleges found that gender-neutral language reduces gender bias. Therefore, changing chairman to chair support more inclusive communications. Next, example 2. The second example is the replacement of greeting dear sirs with dear sir or madam in professional communications. The analysis is 1. Sociolinguistic phenomenon. The sociolinguistic phenomenon in this example is gender exclusive speech. The greeting dear sirs assumes that all receptions are men, even though the audience may include women. And 2. Why does this example represent gender exclusive speech? This example represents gender exclusive speech because their sirs use masculine greeting as the default. Replacing it with their sir or madam make the communications more inclusive. And next, linguistics evidence. The linguistics evidence is the change from their sirs to their sir or madam. The original greeting addressed only men, while the new versions include and knowledge both men and women. And for analyzing using theory, according to Robin Lakoff, language reflects social power relations. Using their sirs places men as the linguistic norm, while the new greetings reflects more inclusive language and changing social value. And 5, relations to previous research. shows that gender inclusive language reduces gender bias. This supports the use of their sir or madam as a more respectful and inclusive greetings. Next comparison. Both examples are promote gender inclusive language. The first changes chairman to chair, while the second changes their sir to their sir or madam. Both change reduce gender bias and encourage fair representations in professional communications. And next we have definitions of stereotype. Stereotypes are general beliefs or assumptions about a particular group of people. In sociolinguistics, stereotype can be reflected through language and influence how people judge others. And next we have key concept and theory. According to Henry Tajfel, social identity theory, people naturally categorize themselves and others into different social groups. These categorizations often lead to the stereotypes that affect communications and social interactions. And next we have critical understanding. Stereotypes might simplify communications, but they can also create prejudice and discriminations. Therefore, it is important to use language carefully and avoid unfair generalizations. And next we have examples. First is the first example is Blue campaign called Pink IPA with the slogan "Be the for Girl." Sociolinguistic phenomenon in this example is gender stereotypes. The expressions pink IPA and beer for girls associates women with the color pink and certain products. Why does this example represent stereotype? This example represents stereotypes because it's generalized woman preference, and it assumes that women naturally prefer pink or product designed specially for them. And next we have linguistic evidence. The linguistic evidence is the use of the phrase pink IPA and beer for girl. This label connect femininity and with the color pink and reinforce traditional gender stereotype. And for analysis using theory, according to Henry Tajfel society identity theory, people categorize others into social groups. In this case, women are categorized through stereotype language, which reinforce social belief and about genders. 5. Relations to previous research. Previous research by Carly and Eagley found that gender stereotype often influence marketing strategies. This example support their finding because the campaign uses stereotypical language to target women. The second example is about pregnant police officer who has forced to leave her job even though she was still able to perform many her duties. Example 2, the sociolinguistic phenomenon. In this example is gender stereotype. This article portrays pregnancy as something that makes women less capable of doing their job. And why this example represents stereotype? The officer was judged based on assumptions about pregnancy rather than her actual abilities. And 3, linguistic evidences. The expression pregnant police officer and force of the job. This phrase suggests that pregnancy reduces women's ability to work. And 4, analysis using theory. According to Henry, people often judge others based on group identity. In this case, the officer was seen primarily as pregnant women who instead of capable police officers. And 5, relations to previous research. Previous research by Hillman shows that gender stereotypes often lead to unfair judgment in the workplace. This case supports that finding because pregnancy influences how the officer ability were evaluated. And comparison, both examples demonstrate gender stereotype, but in different contexts. The first example focused on marketing by linking women with pink product, while the second focused on the workplace by assuming that pregnancy reduces women's competence. Both examples shows how language can reinforce stereotype and influence people perceptions. And next we have case study, gender exclusive speech. What is gender exclusive speech? Gender exclusive speech refers to language that give more importance to one gender, usually men, while making other gender less visible. And why is the manager language gender exclusive? The manager repeatedly uses to his pronoun his to refer to every employee. This makes men appear as the filled group, even though the employees may include women. Sociolinguistic effects. This type of linguistic may make women feel excluded and reinforce the idea that masculine language is the standard in the workplace. And for alternative language, a better alternative is using gender-exclusive language such as their instead of his. This is more neutral and includes everyone. And 5. Analysis using theory. According to Robin Lakoff, language reflects social powers. Previous research also shows that gender-inclusive language helps reduce bias and promotes equal representations. And next we have density. What is language density? It is language density refers to the amounts of information contained in a sentence. How does density affect communications? It provides more information but can be more difficult to understand. Low density is usually clearer for general audience, and which lecturer use higher density. Density, lecture B use higher linguistics density because the explanations contains more technical vocabulary and informations. And advantage of and disadvantage. The advantage is that it communicates information efficiently. However, it might reduce comprehensions for readers who are unfamiliar with the topic. Analysis using theory. According to Halliday, academic language is often more lexically dense because it delivers a large amount of information in fewer words. And next we have complexity. What is linguistic complexity? Linguistic complexity refers to difficulty of language caused by grammar, sentence structure, and vocabulary. And which version is more complex? Version B is more complex because it is longer sentence and more detailed information. And how does complexity affect understanding? Higher complexity makes language more difficult to process, especially to people with limited language proficiency. And when is complex language appropriate? Complex language is appropriate in academic, legal, or professional settings where precise information is needed. And analysis using theory. According to Halliday, academic writing often use complex grammar to express ideas more accurately. And next we have style. What is language style? Language style is the way people choose language based on the audience and the communication situations. And how does the messengers differ? The first messenger is informal, while the second is formal and more appropriate for communication with professors. Why is the second message better? The second message shows politeness, respect, and professionalism. And how does the influence relationships? Appropriate language style helps build positive relationships and avoids misunderstanding. And analysis using theory. According to a communication theory, speakers adjust their language to match their audience and the communication's context. And next we have context. What is context? Context refers to the social and situational factors that influence the meaning of language. Why can the same expressions have different meaning? The meaning of an expression depends on the situations. For example, sick can mean excellence in slang or ill in a medical context. And what factor influence interpretations? Interpretations depends on the participant settings, purpose, and shared backgrounds. And how does context affect communications? Understanding the context helps people interpret the speaker intended meaning correctly. And analyzing using the theory. According to Dalsheim's speaking models, meaning is shaped by contextual factors such as the setting, participants, and purpose. Register. What is register? Is language variation based on audience, purpose, professions, and or situations. And why does the doctor use different language? The doctor use technical term with medical professional but a simpler language when speaking to the patient's family. What factor influence register? Registers depends on the topic, the relationships between speakers, the audience, and the purpose of communications. And next, how does register improve communications? Using the right registers make communication clearer and easier to understand. Analysis using theory according to Halliday, registers theory, language can change depending on the field, the participants, and the communication mode. And next, we have stereotype case. What are linguistic and social stereotype? It is our generalized belief about a certain groups that reflects through language. And how are stereotypes reinforced? They are reinforced through repeat label and assumptions, such as believing that one gender naturally better and certain roles. And three, in the workplace, stereotype can lead to prejudice, discriminations, and unfair judgments. And four, using natural inclusive language helps avoid generalizations and encourage equal treatment. And five, according to Henry Teachable social identity theory, stereotype develop when people categorize others into social group, which can influence how they are perceived and treated. And next, these are the reference used in the presentations, including books, journal article, by Lakoff, Holmes, Wilson, Tajfel, Heidel, and other researchers. And that's bring me to the end of my presentations. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you will get understand about my presentations, and thank you for your attention.